Okay, so hello and hello to everyone. Now we're back this month in July for our summer newsletter. We decided to have as our guest Yissel Contreras. Um, Yissel Contreras has many titles. We could say professionally. She has a Ph.D. in chemical engineering. She also has worked as a technology consultant, and she is now a junior machine learning engineer at Ondina. And so we really wanted to, we're really happy to have you here, Giselle. Hi. And we decided to ask Giselle to come to us because not only did we find her career transition very interesting, but we also found out that really knowing how to network properly, getting all the advice from all these professionals um, has been also important during her career transition. So we wanted her to share all of this experience with you. And so first of all, before we dive deeper into this part, can you give us just a brief background about your career?
Aura, thank you very much for this invite. I have been following your career since we were undergraduates. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, of course, I am happy to give you a brief description of my professional career. So, I have been thinking that when you look at a professional's trajectory, it is often difficult to see like an overarching theme if we just look at position titles. So I think it is really helpful to know what's the motivation behind a career path. So maybe I will try to explain the career path first. So in my case, from the beginning, I had a motivation to make an impact in the world and on society as well. So from that point of view, I always try to understand how the natural world works. This is with my chemical engineering studies, also with the biosensor work that I had been doing. But I also wanted to know how to build connections with people and how technologies are shaping the future. So I guess you can see the element of this technology consulting and the machine learning. So it looks like it's all over the place, but that's always been my motivation. And I have been looking for opportunities to do so.
Okay, great. That's nice how you say to really get to know how you do the different transition process. You say perhaps with the titles at first you don't understand, but I myself I have also been seeing how you have done these transitions. I can understand your motivation behind them. So I think it's nice that you point this out, especially for PhDs that sometimes are afraid of following the kind of path that they wish because they might think, it might not appear as the strict path that they should follow. So it's really, really nice to see these examples and also see, that it's successful. So that's really nice. And so as you were saying, you wanted to learn more about how to network with people, with professionals on the areas that were of your interest. So what roles, I mean, do you think that this network that you have now that is it's really good and it's really solid, what role do you think that it played during your different transitions in your career?
Yes, of course. I'm actually really glad that you asked this because when we talk about networking, I think it's very attractive, to think that networking is going to help us find a job, a good job offer. And I think this is very attractive, but at the same time, it has an inconvenience. Sometimes we think about networking as in just obtaining a referral for a job, and that shapes our connections with people, and that can actually damage our connections with people. So imagine just reaching out to a stranger and telling them, hi, I see that you work at this big company, can you refer me? And this person doesn't know you. um, one of the influencers I follow says this is similar to asking a stranger, hey, I'm moving, can you help me move my things? And this person doesn't know you. So I mean, I want to see networking as something that's everywhere, and it's going to help you in everything. So let's try to think about this analogy together. Imagine you are looking for your wallet and you go into a dark room. Um, it's completely dark. So do you think you can find it? I mean, possibly, right? If you know your way around, you might eventually be able to find it. But imagine trying to look for your wallet if the lights are on. You know, you might be able to find it way faster. You might be able to notice things that weren't there. You know, so a person might say, well, you know, I know my way really well, so I was able to find it without the lights. But wouldn't everything be like way easier if the lights were on? That's what networking does for you. It's going to help you in every aspect of your life. So I guess I would try to say, don't just see networking as a way to a job offer. I can tell you, for example, being a technology consultant, being a machine learning engineer, networking had everything to do with it, but it doesn't stop the moment you get your job offer. Like those relationships are going to stay with you your entire career and your entire life.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good point about not just focusing on referrals and making more personal connections. That will also give you good advice, as you say. That was a really really nice analogy. Um, and uh, and for example, um, what like how do you think, especially for example, well, this is the example you made towards referrals, but even like some PhD students are just, too shy or too afraid to contact a person in the company of their interest, not necessarily because they might straight away ask, for a referral, but sometimes just to find out more about the kind of job, because it's one thing is the title of the job, or and another thing is really what they do day to day. So and PhD students are really like afraid or shy of contacting someone. So you know, uh, in your case, how did you? I mean, did you come across this feeling as well? And if so, like, how did you overcome it, or what kind of advice would you give to PhDs? To start building their network and not be afraid of contacting people.
Yes, I mean, thanks for asking. You know, this is very common, and we all experience that. I have to say, we all are afraid that we are going to make a bad impression or we are going to be rejected. Let's think about it this way. We are all busy, correct? Everyone's busy, but we all have priorities and we all have time for our priorities. That's correct too. We all have time for our full-time jobs and family and what's important. So it actually means that we actually pay a lot of attention to our priorities. So let me put it this way. If if you find out what's important for a person, you have the time of that person and you have their attention, and you won't have to reach out to them. They are going to reach out to you. So my advice is listen very intently, listen actively, find out what a person values, and show a true interest in what a person values. I I want to add a warning here because you should try not to show fake interest. So what's fake interest? It's saying you care about what the person's interests or needs are, but you are not. You would be surprised how many messages I get, maybe not every day, but every week, that say, for example, I share a recommendation with a person and their message says, oh, I will look at it later. So this is very honest, this is very well intentioned, but it also means you are not my priority. If you want the attention of a person, you don't want to tell them you are not my priority. So for example, you and I have been talking a little bit. Sometimes we share recommendations. And I know I have sent you a bunch of messages like, look at this, look at that. And I know you're a very busy person, but you always say, thank you, this is great. We don't have to start a discussion about it or anything. Just thank you, this is great. That works, even if you're really busy. So I would definitely advise to communicate the correct way, and the connections will come to you and will be very meaningful connections.
And so, how do you, I mean, when you started contacting these people that were on the, for example, technology consultants or machine learning engineers that could give you advice on how to transition, how did you start then like contacting them saying I want to transition, or did you also meet them in different kind of activities? My main question is what kind of activities do you think allowed you to meet these professionals? Was it only through LinkedIn, or did you also assist to uh, this kind of career fairs, or like what do you think has enabled you to grow your network?
Yes, thank you for asking. I mean, let me tell you that your personality and your circumstances have a lot to do with it. So your personality may be more outgoing or more introverted, and your circumstances might be you meet people every day, or you're in the middle of a pandemic and you cannot go to gatherings. So it depends on the circumstances. But you really have to see the world through a lens of networking, and opportunities will surface everywhere. So in the middle of a pandemic, I might try to publish on Facebook, post fun things, but also interesting things, show an interest in other people. I mean, I could also try to give a talk, a webinar, so people would reach out to me. I can introduce professionals to one another, and then that way they see I am a valuable connection. So my recommendation is see the world through a lens of networking, and you will find opportunities.
That's really great advice, and it's a lot of work and also very enriching. I think all these different activities that you have done, like connecting with people, but also helping people. That's I think really essential. It's really nice because, as you say, you're interacting with people because you're interested, not because you're fakely interested, right? So I think that's really nice. I like the way you network in a good way, really helping people and then having people helping you, giving their advice or different kind of things. So that's a really essential thing. And I think maybe another question, perhaps almost the last question. Let's say, do you think there is like an exact time when a PhD student should network? Like, should they network at their beginning, or during their PhD, or towards the end? Some PhD students might think at the beginning they don't have enough things, let's say, to show. But what would you recommend?
This is such a great question, Ora. And what I am about to say, I think will help others understand that networking, even professional networking, starts at the beginning of your life. Why am I saying this? In your career, the people who are going to support you no matter what, and the people who want to see you succeed will often be your friends and your family. Those are your principal relationships. After that, you will meet classmates, you will meet colleagues, acquaintances, but really the strength of your network comes from those who support you no matter what. So start with there, build those relationships, and then grow from there with their connections, with their friends, with other acquaintances. But really what will give you strength to your network is those who support you no matter what.
Okay, thank you. That's so then, yes, PhD students should start, should not be afraid to start, as soon as possible. So they're networking, they don't have to wait until they have their paper or these kind of things. So that's a very nice advice. And so do you think that there would be like one or two words to wrap up? I mean, you have already said lots of really good advice, like on PhDs, you've already said how to build the network, but what I'm growing and maintaining, would you say like, remember these three things are the most important for, beginning, growing and maintaining your network?
Yes, of course. I think a message that I would want people to take home is networking and professional networking is the most important thing you can do, not only for your professional life, but also for your personal life. So start today or yesterday, be serious about it, and really view and treat everyone as a potential professional contact. So this changes the way we interact with people, right? Seeing them as potential professional contacts. There actually is a narrow area between being too passive and too aggressive. And you are going to have to learn that with experience. So listen very actively. And, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And to those that are interested, would you be open for them to contact you on LinkedIn with questions if they have questions to make to you? Would you be happy if they contact you?
Of course, I'm always happy to connect. I am always happy to make new connections and help each other. I might be getting a lot of communications right now, but just keep trying, do your best, and write really good messages, and I will reach out to you.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Yissel, for all this really good advice. And to all those listening out, take the opportunity this summer to start your networking if you haven't done so. Thank you.